the short answer is there's not a perfect answer, right?
Right. Yeah.
It is a forever balancing act, right? Of
Uh-huh.
being aggressive and patient at the same time,
Right. Yeah.
right? And I think that a lot of brokers lose deals because of lack of aggression
Right.
more than they do because of lack of patience. So I think that I'd rather you be way too aggressive than being way too passive in
Right.
the situation, because especially in markets like this, when deals get done because brokers are hustling and putting them together, regardless of what anyone else says,
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
it comes down to us doing the work.
Uh-huh.
So when you have somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a decision by Friday, that's an understandable situation if hypothetically they're waiting on a response from their accountant, they're waiting on a response from their partner, they're waiting on a response from X, Y, and Z,
Right.
versus them saying, I need a week to think about it. So
Yeah.
when someone says call me back Friday and I'll have an answer for you, which is about what they said to you, or did they say something more specific?
It kind of went along the lines of the buyers coming on site tomorrow to look at the property. I mean, it's a storage facility. I'm like, there's not much to look at. There's sheds. Um, but I
Who do
guess
you represent?
I would be representing the seller.
You're
I
representing the seller.
guess. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you have a broker who's representing the buyer?
Oh no, I mean it's an off-market transaction, so I guess no one's representing anyone. She has a guy she's been working with, and she said if he doesn't buy it, she'll list it.
Got it. Okay. See, okay, so this is the perfect situation of why I believe in double ending the majority of your deals and not relying on
Uh-huh.
listing property for sale, right? Because let me give you a different example. Let's use this as an example, but we can kind of pivot in some directions here. Okay.
Hmm.
So you have a self-storage facility, someone's open to selling it, and they're basically, if they don't sell it to this guy, then you're going to maybe have the opportunity to list it. Where have you submitted an offer to them?
I have not, no. I
Okay,
mean,
see, this is the huge
right.
disconnect where I
Hmm.
personally would have submitted an offer on the within 24 to 48 hours of our first conversation. Because one thing that this other buyer can't one thing you can compete with this individual is offers. Because if they don't come in with a better price than you come in at, right? Or if they don't come in with reasonable terms like you will, you can, then
Uh-huh.
they have nothing to compete with you on. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good
So
point.
like what's let's break down this one deal as an example, right? Like so, what's the address here?
For this one,
Yeah.
if you want to type it, actually, it doesn't have the frontage, but there's probably
No, no, I see it
130
here. Okay.
some units in the
Did she
back.
tell you a price that she wants?
Minimum 2.5.
Did she give you any income or anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah, I have everything. I mean, I
Okay.
got.
So what do you think it's worth?
I told her I think it would sell all day at 2.5. Taking it out could probably get pushed to 2.7, and I think 3 million's pushing it. So I think that 2.750 is actually accurate. I think it's possible
What's the gross income on this?
the gross income is gross is 295.
Gross 295. So let's say net's like what, a buck 70, buck 80?
So right now she's netting a buck 60, but she's got storage asset management managing it, and they're taking a lot of fees. I mean, I think the upside here is not the rent increase, but getting someone else to manage it.
So why do you think you can sell it at a six cut?
Oh, because I don't think that bottom line 160 is accurate.
Got
I
it.
don't think that's
So
at
just
the
to
end of the
give you
day.
like a rough example, right? Like so
Yeah.
let's just take this deal.
Okay.
I see this deal as okay. I know she's netting like let's call it a buck 60, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
offering her immediately the day we get off the phone $2 million.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
putting a letter of intent together. I'm submitting it to her. I'm giving her something in writing, showing her like, hey, like we can transact. Like
Right.
I have people. We're ready to transact. I don't need you to just put a property on the market and hope and pray we bring a buyer. Which I know you're not in that position, but I want you to show it.
Okay. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
like,
know what
hey,
you
like
mean.
if you imagine if you had somebody right now, you said, oh, 2.5 all day long, get her a letter of intent for 2.5 right now.
Yeah, I know. I probably should. I mean, I definitely think it's possible. Because I mean, the 160. I mean, they're gonna manage it themselves. They're not gonna have a on-site manager on
Yeah, but
top of it.
they're gonna count a 5 point management
They'll
fee.
have the 5 point, but I mean, she's got the 5 points. She's got salary of 20 grand. She's got her internet and stuff is like 15 call center. I mean, all that stuff can come out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm offering her $2 million day one, knowing that
Uh-huh.
all that stuff can be done better. I want to get her get a gauge. So I would
Yeah.
even say like, listen, like I would, you could put my name on it, right? $2 million, right? 25,000 on
Okay.
deposit, 45-day due diligence, 45-day close. I'm ready to go today. So it's like what happens now is that this puts me at the top of her inbox of saying like, hey, like this is somebody who's serious Now, some of
Mhm.
them are going to be like, screw you on the number, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which is just a normal part of the business, right?
No,
I'm
definitely.
filtering out motivation levels, right? Because if she tells me to screw off at 2 million, right, which she's probably not going to do if she only wants 2.5, right? And if she's already at 2.5, I can probably get her down to 2.3,
Yeah.
right? And maybe she's open to seller financing. So it's like all of a sudden we can squeak out a really, really good situation where instead of her reliant on other people to maybe give her an offer, maybe, right? Because then she has to then list it with a broker, and not everybody
Right.
wants to do that,
Yeah.
right?
No, for
You know how much
sure.
easier it is for somebody just to sign a letter of intent and it's done versus them to list it with a broker and then have to deal with all this nonsense. So
Yeah,
that's what we
definitely.
try to avoid.
That makes
It's the
perfect sense.
same process. Like if you had this property listed for sale right now, what would you be doing?
I would probably take the first 2 weeks and not make it live and call through the guys I have in my back pocket, obviously try to double end it. And then after we
Why
went
would you
through,
not just do that now?
I know I probably should.
No, but I'm
Right.
saying like this. This is why I'm saying corporate-esque thinking
Right.
that has taught
Yeah.
us like you need the listing first before you
Exactly.
work the
Yeah.
deal. I understand the meaning behind it. However, you're losing out on deals.
Right. No.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good
So
point.
what we found is that like the what you're losing in deals, right, is so sorry, like what you'd be gaining in deals because you lock them in an exclusive listing versus what you lose is infinitely different. So,
Yeah.
we're able to capture another, 50, 100, 200% in deal flow, right, because of this strategy versus waiting for a listing agreement. I'm not saying we don't take listings. I mean, my agents can take listings all they want,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's the last lens. Right. Where like I want to put three, you could have put three offers in front of this woman between 2 million and 2.5 already.
No, I probably could have. Yeah.
Right. Where now it's not like, oh, I'm waiting on this buyer to get back to you. It's like, I'm just serious. I'm just curious if that buyer could beat you. But now she has to call you back.
Right. No, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Okay. So I would literally take the next 24 hours to get a couple offers. Again, if you want to throw mine in the ring, go for it. I know I have a buyer for you, by the way, all
Yeah.
day long for this as well. Yeah. I mean, depending on how you, whatever you want to do. But I just
Yeah. No,
definitely do that
definitely.
together.
Yeah, I mean, I got a guy right in that market that I sold one to a year ago at a pretty incredible cap rate, and
Great.
he'd probably be my first one. And then after that, no, I mean, I'm all for being aggressive. I know I need to be more aggressive because, again, that's why I've kind of been diverting away from the investment stuff a little bit because of this hurdle. But it's probably my fault that I need to fix.
Well, it just all I
Yeah.
want you to pivot from thinking is that listing is secondary. You should be
Yeah.
offer is primary. Go for an
Yeah.
offer first. See, play that card first. Let's get our one, two, three, or four offers right away, or whoever
Yeah.
this is. Get them that many offers. Based on their response, you then can say like, look, I mean, if you want more money, I think that like, would you be totally opposed to the idea of us listing the property for sale? Would you be open to us? Is there a chance that maybe you give us the opportunity to list your property for sale to get you a little bit more money?
Yeah.
If you're stuck on X price, is there a chance that maybe there's an opportunity for us to work together? Or would you be totally opposed to the idea of us listing a property for sale? Like, but the offer is primary, right?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, so do you write an offer then, or do you
Yes.
write an offer
Full
for
blown letter of
everything?
intent. You call her up and say, listen, I just want to let you know, I know you're waiting on that other individual on Thursday or tomorrow or whatever it is, to come tour the property. I just want
Yeah.
to let you know, because I know you have your email. Are you in front of a computer real quick? You are? Okay, great. Put me on speakerphone real fast. I have two offers in your inbox. I
Wow.
want to talk to you about it. Right? One's for 2 million. One's for 2.2 million with seller financing with 20% down, 5% interest only. I just want to review it with you. Do you feel like, like based on these terms, blah, 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 you walk her through the whole thing and try to see if you
Uh-huh.
can get any type of counter right away.
That's smart. Yeah, that's really smart.
So it's like this way, like I'm capturing your attention. I'm proving myself that I can get you offers. And if I can do it now, imagine what I can do to you, what I could do for you if I get it listed. Because it's like all these people like, oh, I don't want to make a phone call to a buyer if it's not listed, exclusive listing. It's just like, what are you wasting time for?
No, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Right.
Yeah, why wait
So
around?
just
Yeah, yeah,
slight pivot is going to open up your opportunities massively. All right, next question. Because you were saying that you just want to have a business plan other than the offer generation, which again, I just want you to start thinking this way. We can work more on nuance as
uh,
time goes on because each deal will be slightly different. What do you feel like you need to see for a business plan? Like, what do you feel like is missing?
I guess, number of calls that need to be generated. I guess another thing I want to look into, 'cause when we talked yesterday about expanding to a different market. I mean, how do you expand into a different market without wasting your time? I guess that's something they've always talked about at our office, because there's a lot of guys in this market for us to expand into not tertiary, but, Berks County, Franklin County. There's not a lot of competition there. But I don't want to be driving an hour to meet a property every week.
Why would you? So, just to clarify, let's say
Um,
self-storage as a quick example.
right. Yeah.
Let's say this one wasn't an Anvil. Let's say
Okay. Yeah, I mean, self-storage, obviously, I don't have to go out and see it.
Yeah, but okay. So like, so that completely answers your question, right? You don't even need to see it. I live in fucking Florida, dude, and like it's all over
Yeah.
the country, right? I
Uh,
don't need to see it. Who needs to see it?
well, I guess so. There was this one deal I saw a while back, like 3 months ago, and it was a little 4 unit, and it looked like a home run that I was looking at for myself. And then when I went down to see it, the guy was out of state. I mean, they were the worst units I've ever seen in my life.
No, I
I,
understand. But hold on, but
that's the thing. I'm like, I don't want.
no, it's
Maybe that's
fine.
the
Look,
worst.
but you're answering the question, which is
Right.
who actually needs to see the property?
Anyone that's going to buy it, I
The
think.
buyer.
Right, the buyer does.
You
Yeah.
don't.
Okay. So when you're working these deals, do you get guys to walk it without you being there?
100% all the time.
Really? Okay.
100% all the time. Now, look, obviously, I want to be very clear. Okay,
Yeah.
these are buyers I trust. They
Uh-huh.
know I'm making a commission, right?
Yeah.
Like they are very aware of the property and like what's going on, and that they will. These are people I trust inherently. Would never screw me. I could literally give them the phone number, the
Yeah.
address of the
Uh-huh.
seller, and they wouldn't go around me. So I'm not telling you to do this with a brand new guy. But what
Okay.
I am saying is that self-storage facilities and
Hmm.
80 to 90% of other asset classes, maybe beyond multifamily, because you have to tour some units and,
Right.
you have to get into it. But
Eventually, yeah, you do. Right.
industrial, retail, office, even sometimes, self-storage facilities, liquor stores, laundromats, hotels, whatever. The vast majority of asset classes, you could just have the guy go. You don't need to
Yeah.
be the owner there. The only thing
Right.
the owner is going to be able to show you that you couldn't be able to see otherwise is maybe the utility room, right? Because that door is going to be locked most of the time, right?
Uh-huh.
And half the time on the larger assets, it's being shown by a property manager,
No, yeah, it is.
you
That's a
know?
good point.
So it's like, I don't
Very good
care
point.
if they like, it's like all you're there for is representation, right? And then so people don't go around you. That's it. So it's like, in my opinion, as long as I realize the only thing that could screw up a deal without me being there is the fact that they could go around me, I just make sure I sit up and say, hey, buyer, go tour the property. We'll get you in the utility room. We'll get you in X room, whatever it is, once you're in contract. Okay?
Right.
Because then I don't care if they talk,
Yeah.
right? One. Two, if it's multifamily and they actually have to go see it, I always talk to the owner. I'm like, listen, what I've seen is what is always best is maybe do you have a property manager you can send to the property? This way they're not
Right.
talking to you directly because I found that it typically doesn't go well to begin with for the buyer and the seller to meet. After you go
Yeah.
into contract, talk as much as you want, go out to dinner for all I care. But
Right.
typically I found that it's always best for them to meet your property manager because they're gonna have a lot of questions that maybe they can answer that maybe you can't.
Okay.
Right? There's word tracks that you can use to kind of walk around
Yeah.
that, dance around that. But I definitely wouldn't use the excuse of like I have to go tour all these properties all over the place. The only properties that I go like that I have to go,
Hmm.
right, is when I don't know who the hell the buyer is and there's a lot of money on the line. Like, or I'm buying the property myself. Right. And even sometimes, even though if I'm buying the property, I send my contractor. I don't really
Right.
care. Like, just tell me an estimate. I need to get an estimate. So, but if I'm wholesaling a deal, I'll probably want to go, I want to go talk to the guy, right? Because then he can't talk to the buyer. He can't talk to the management company because I'm the one locked up. Those are like the one, a couple times a year, maybe 10 times a year that I'm going around, 15 times a year that I'm going around to different states or something like that if I have it locked up in a contract.
So, I mean, if you're going to branch into a new market and find new buyers in that market, I mean, how
You
would
don't
you
even need new buyers, dude. Like,
think?
like
Yeah.
if you went, I'm just saying, if you just went self-storage, the entire state of
Oh,
Pennsylvania,
yeah, though yeah, you're right.
that's
You don't
nothing.
not for that.
Your guys would buy it, right?
They
Like, it
would.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
just be an Anvil. What other asset class would you even look into?
I like industrial. Something I want to dive
But
into more.
industrial as well. You don't have to go
Yeah,
see
you
it.
don't. Yeah, you don't. That's a
And
good point.
honest to God, like, listen, like, let's play far-fetched for a second. Let's be far-fetched. Let's just
Uh,
say you had a 150,000 square foot warehouse. Okay, even call it a 10,000 square foot warehouse. It's a beat the shit property. Okay,
uh,
but you know that they want to sell it for 400 grand, and it's probably worth
yeah.
800 based on comps. Where you have the ability to wholesale it and flip, and make 300 or 400 thousand bucks. You're telling me you're not going to drive 3 hours for that?
Oh no, I definitely would.
Yeah, so would I, right? Like,
Right.
so it's
I
like
mean, yeah.
my point is that like if the guy wants $1 million and it's barely worth 1,500,000, sorry, like other way around. Let's just say he wants $1 million, it's barely worth 500 grand, right? Like you're not getting
Yeah.
in the fucking car,
No, for sure. For sure. So you
right?
flush everything out before you even.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't need to go meet you, right? Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't. I can make you an offer. if I know that the property, just like this self-storage facility, let's say this was 3 hours away, I'd make her an offer of $2 million, the same exact thing we just talked about. And I'd probably offer her as well 2.2 million with 20% down seller financing, 5% interest only for like 5 years and see what she likes best. Based on her feedback, she goes, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. I want $4 million. Like, no, thank you. Like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm not going to go waste my time. But if she
Right.
goes, yeah, I mean, like, look, I don't know about 2 million, but I can probably make sense. And I don't want to do seller financing, but I'll probably can make sense at 2.5, maybe 2.4. Like, okay, great. Like, why don't I do that? Like, I'll talk to my client, see if I can get them up to 2.7. I'll get a
Right.
buyer at 2.7, try to make 6 points. If we're close, I definitely don't mind driving out there. Like, we're going to put
Yeah.
150K on the table.
Right. That
But
makes
it's
sense.
like it's the speed and the directness that I feel like people miss in this industry. I just want to
Yeah,
know we're
exactly.
transacting. That's it.